Namaste, everybody. Honorable Chairman, MIT Group of Institutions and friends. The goal of every goal of life is peace and happiness. हर व्यक्ति खुश होना चाहता है, इसलिए पढ़ता है, जीवन में जो भी करता है. Post-industrialized world has provided us two models to achieve this goal of life. First model is called the model of materialism, and second model is called model of individualism. The model of materialism says this, that शायद आप लोगों ने भी घरों में सब सुना होगा. Have three things in life and you are settled. You will be filled with happiness. First, have education, पढ़ाई करो. Second, get a job which will have you money. And third, get married, have family. If you have done it, you will be happy and peaceful. And the second model of individualism, ये मेरी life है. Focus on yourself. Do not bother about others. So both of the models. The model of materialism and the model of individualism. But let's do the fact check whether this model really worked for the world or not. I am quoting National Crime Record Bureau 2021 statistics about suicides in India. I was shocked to know that the number of people who committed suicide in India, out of that, around 89% people had got some or the other exposure to education. It means only 11% people were there who were not educated out of the people who committed suicide. Second, regarding education, Kerala is the most educated state of the country and Bihar is the least educated. Interestingly, in Kerala, 27 people commit suicide on every 1 lakh people. And in Bihar, only 0.7 people on 1 lakh people commit suicide. So individually or collectively, education has not earned happiness. Now let's go to the another part of the model. Naukri kar lo, you'll be happy. 89% of the people who committed suicide, around 90%, had some job at home or at an office. They were doing something. Only 10% people who committed suicide were unemployed. So again, the fact check says, job has got nothing to do with your peace and happiness in life. Let's talk about the third thing. Marriage, love, family. I was really amazed to see this. When you talk about these three together, 43% of the suicides in India happens because of family issues, because of the marital discords, and because of the love issues. Almost every second person in this country called India is committing suicide because of this reason. It means family, love, marriages cannot guarantee you peace and happiness in life. But still behind these three things, almost everybody is running like a rat. And you know what is the problem with rat race? The problem with rat race is, even if you win, you are still a rat. You're still a rat. Now, after having a fact check of this model that has failed, let's talk about another model, individualism, which is very cool nowadays. Ye meri life hai, my life, my way. I am not bothered about you. Did it? On the fact checks, if you see, let's see above us, the climate. It's the same air we all breathe. It's the same water we all drink. All oceans' water is one. It's not merry life. It's our collective life. It's our collective climate. Whosoever is responsible for the climate pollution, but everybody is suffering. It's our common suffering. Didn't coronavirus taught us enough within us that it's the same virus that has affected us? We are interdependent on each other. So over you, within you, in, even below you, there is something called mycelium. You all know this. All roots of the trees are interconnected. They nourish each other through this mycelium. In Amazons, if you cut a tree, there are fair chances the tree will survive for next 100 years because all roots through this mycelium will start nourishing each other. Above you, below you, within you, we are collective. There is nothing called individualism. We survive because of each other. Everything happens in one part of the world has effect on another part of the world. 2007, Lehman Brothers fell down in America. Ask MIT, didn't their placement went down? Lehman Brothers fell down in America and MIT is suffering because students are not getting placed. TCS do not have enough vacancies now. In 2007, I am talking about. When this fellow Oppenheimer's parents rushed from Germany, they were Jew, they rushed from Germany to America and settled down because they were afraid against the atrocities against Jews in Germany. Finally, what happened? The son of that person became the Oppenheimer who created first atom bomb, and that atom bomb was in the hands of America because they got settled in America. And America used that atom bomb against Japan, and they had to lose in First World War. Everything happening here, whether it is recession or virus, will affect everywhere, everything everywhere. There is nothing called individualism. We take this air, we take this water, we are liable for this. We can't say it's my life. Our parents, teachers, many people around the world, environment, everybody has contributed in it. And that's why the concept of individualism is also fake on the fact file. This individualism did not only become fail, it has created a failed world across. If you see these two illusions, what it brought to us. First is orthodoxy of religions. Because I am individual, I'll think individually, shrinking consciousness, limited identities, led to first orthodoxy of religion. We fought in the name of individual religions for 1,000 years called crusade. Second is intolerant thoughts. I will not tolerate your thought because you don't belong to my school of thought. Capitalism versus communism. Cold War, we created 100,000 nuclear weapons, enough to convert Earth into a fireball. Wealth divide, rich look down on poor. Divide on the basis of class 1, class 2, class 3 citizens. Martin Luther King used to say you cannot create a class 1 nation with class 2 citizens in it. Divides on the basis of region, fanatic nationalism. I travel across the globe. If I say my nation is great, people will embrace me. But the moment I'll say my nation is greatest, how can I sit with an Italian? How can I sit with an Japanese? Language of superlatives. Status divide. Divide on the basis of species. Human beings consider themselves the owner of all the species. And all other animals and everything is at their mercy. And you can kill them brutally. Divide on the basis of habitat. Human beings consider themselves the owner of this habitat, this whole planet, and leads to global warming and climate change. Racism, casteism, color divide, gender divide. Women sitting here, they had to fight for 2 millennia just to get equality and voting rights and to be able to sit in the chairs they are sitting right now. Genuine LGBTQ are still struggling to get respect in the society today. This is what is the gift of individualism. This is my life. So all these models have failed us. So what is to be done then? The solution lies in future. The solution lies in knowing the purpose of life. Research says that instead of that material model of job, family, and education, think about your purpose of life. Identify your purpose of life. Professor Stretcher of Michigan University researched into it. that people who have clarity about their purpose of life and they are living a purposeful life, I'm quoting his research, they have less chances of Alzheimer, 2.5 times less chances of Alzheimer when they retire. They have better sleep. They have better blood pressure control. Their memory gets sharpened. There are less chances of depression for them. Many of the universities in US, when it was researched, students who did not have any purpose of life, the depressive symptoms in those students were found 33%. But those students who had high purpose of life, the symptoms were only 11%. Students who did not have any purpose of life, once a year, they had suicidal thoughts. 29% of the students who did not have any purpose, once a year they had suicidal thoughts. And those students who had high purpose in life, only 4% of those had any suicidal thoughts. So identifying a higher purpose of life is must. You all have been watching Tom and Jerry. How many of you have seen Tom and Jerry? We all have seen, and you have seen that Tom could not catch Jerry since last 40 years. The reason is, that is true that the size of Tom is bigger and the size of Jerry is small. But the problem is, Tom is running for one-time meal. His objective is only to eat Jerry and be merry. It won't happen. The objective of Tom is very small, but the objective of Jerry is very big. Jerry is running for his life. It is a question of his life. So though the size of Tom is bigger than the size of Jerry, but the purpose of Jerry is very much big than the purpose of Tom. And remember, friends, in life, purpose precedes performance. The higher the purpose, the higher the performance. We need to work. We need to work for the highest possible purpose in life. When we start working, and how will you know that you are living your purpose of life? I'm asking you 4 questions. Keep answering within your heart. If answer of all those 4 questions are yes, it means you are living your purpose of life. For me, all these 4 questions answer is yes. Question number 1. When you do that work, time flies unnoticed. Raise your hands if it works for you. Second, when you do that work, your body gets tired, but your mind remains fresh. Raise your hand if it works for you. Third, when you do that work, even the moment comes that you forget your own existence, only work remains. You are so much engrossed in it. Raise if it works for you. And the last is, even if nobody will pay you a single penny, you will still work for that purpose. If you have raised hands on all 4 pointers, it means whatever you are thinking is your purpose of life. Don't miss it. Go and start working for that. Your life will become a cakewalk. Work for the highest possible purpose. Upanishad says, Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. You are that who is responsible for your peace and happiness. And when you work for higher purpose, you realize it. So first is, that is what makes you in flow and makes you working in spirit. It is the ritual of spirit. You remain spirited throughout life. And when you remain spirited throughout life, it is called spiritualism. So one shift from materialism to spiritualism, have flow and remain spirited in life. Next is, from individualism, the next model we need to shift is collectivism. We need to shift towards collectivism. Our scripture says, Tretayam mantra shaktisha. Tretayam mantra shaktisha. Jnana shakti krate yuge. Dwapare yuddha shaktisha. Sangha shakti kale yuge. During Treta, the mantra was the power. During Krata Yuga, the knowledge was power. And during the Dwapar, the war was power. But during Kali Yuga, network is power. Collectivism is power. Let's work together. Let's work together. Let's think on collectivism. Think about collectivism. And that is what is the need of the hour right now, from individualism to collectivism. In between this, models of spiritualism and collectivism, India gains the presidency of G20, the most powerful countries of the world. And when India gains the presidency of G20, then Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is the motto government of India gave to whole world. It means one earth, one family, one future. We all have one earth, and we need to nourish it together. We all have one family. Because theory of common descent said that we all have one family, and we need to work together to achieve a better future together. In Indian scriptures, it is said, Aham Brahmasmi, I am the existence. I am the existing. When Raman Maharshi was asked how to behave others, Maharshi replied, there are no others. So the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is the call for every individual sitting here. One, do a job which will give you the flow, the purpose of life. And second, while doing a job, ask yourself, am I contributing back to this planet and to this society? For all the institutions and organizations seated here, the theme Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is a call for them that assure that your mission statement should have the mission for the planet and for the climate, and they should be committed themselves to promote oneness. And for all the nations who will be listening to this talk, the call is that our policy should be promoting development rather than disaster. The rich nations right now are investing 0.4% of GDP in development and 4% of GDP in military equipment. Disaster. All nations need to commit themselves for a policy of oneness. Dear friends, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Hatova prapyasi swargam jitva bhokshase mahim tasmat utthisth kaunteya yuddhaya kritnishaya. When you die in the path of your swadharma, what you are born to do, even if you die, you will die happily. And jitva bhokshase mahim, but if you live and succeed, you will be happy and successful. So whatever you will do, you will be happy and peaceful in any manner. So dear friends, this is a call from me, from G20 nations, from Civil 20, that let's together work for the higher purpose of life called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Thank you very much.